This is Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney, a smarter conversation about cars, the auto industry, and what drivers really need to know. From industry trends and buyer insights to technology, safety, and what's coming next on the road, you're getting real perspective from inside the business without the sales pitch. Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney starts now.
Welcome to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney. I'm Bill McKinney, and this is my friend
Andrew DeWorth. We're here to have a little bit of fun today.
All right, what are we going to talk about?
I think we're going to talk about some diag.
Diag fees. So that's something in the service side of the industry that gets pretty hot pretty quick, diag fees. And I can tell you I had one outlook on it, and then as it kind of evolved, and I'll read off what's the question. So we had somebody that got pretty upset recently because they were charged a diagnostic fee, $165.
$195?
Is it $195? Our hourly rate's $165. That's $195. My bad. Yeah. Okay, still cheap. Still sub $200. I'm sure we can edit that up.
Yes.
Anyhow, diag fee, $195. What is the diag fee? And the customer, as I recall, was pretty hot that they paid the diag fee even though they elected not to repair the car.
So I brought my car in there.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you to diagnose my whatever.
Yep.
$200.
Actually, here's what really happens. You came in for an oil change that you scheduled in Quick Lane. And then when you got there, you said, oh, but I have a check engine light. So hence starts the next thing, right? We want to try to accommodate what we can as often as we can, but that pushes the schedule back because now it's no longer Quick Lane. It's now entered into potentially slow lane.
Correct, because I had an appointment to come in today to get my works package done, which is an oil change, tire rotation, and multi-point inspection.
Zip, zip, zip.
In and out.
Motors, yep.
Right, okay.
You throw the diag in there, what happens is that changes things, and the advisors, they're not going to want to say, no, I can't help you. They're going to do what they can to accommodate. So if it's a relatively easy diag, they're going to try to get it done while you're there. Now, the reality is the diag fee is only charged if we diagnose the vehicle and you elect to take it elsewhere to fix it. So let me clean this up. I grew up working on our own cars. I had friends that had shops. Sometimes I could take my car to them and get them to give me the diag on something that was beyond me, but I'd still take it home and do the work myself because it was cheaper and that's what I could afford and that's how we got by, right?
Right.
The way the world works is that technician has to get paid. There's a lot of conversation about technicians, right? Getting them, recruiting them, hiring them, keeping them. How do you recruit, hire, train, motivate, and maintain people? I assure you it's not by not paying them when they put the work in. So where you see kind of the rub is someone comes in, they get their car diag, we find out what it is, what's the problem, and I tell you, hey, your car needs X, Y, Z, and you say, fantastic, I'm going to take it over to my cousin who's a tech, and he's going to do it at home. Okay, I get it. They diag the fee. I had a technician look at the car. Now the question is, what about the time that he worked on the car? Should you be charged $195 if it took him a half hour, if it took him 40 minutes? What if it took him an hour and a half? There's a diag fee. It goes to a certain extent, right? If you decide to do that repair with us, the diag fee goes away and it becomes part of the bill. And what I mean by that is they deduct it from your overall bill. You got the car, the diagnostic work was done with us, and we did the repair. That's how it's supposed to go. The next one that pops up, and I don't want to be dismissive of diag because I want to circle back to it. Actually, I'll do that right now. What is the technician's time worth? Well, it depends. If it took you 3 days to diag the car,
right?
Would you do it for free, or would you? I mean, if you were doing it for somebody, you expect to get paid.
Yeah, I would totally appreciate getting paid as a technician. I spent the time. Bill, you send us all to training, and we spend days away to get trained in order to diag these things.
Tons of tools that you guys got to buy. I mean, giant toolboxes. I hear all the time. I hear $50,000, $100,000 in tools that they have. And to each craft and each profession has its own things, right? Some of them are going to want to have a different office. Some of them have a different this. I think I've said before, to the technician, the tools are to the same tools as to a surgeon. Those are his tools. That's what he gets. That's how he gets his job done. But the point is, when he spends that time, finding out what's truly wrong with the car, there's a value in that to be done. If you take that work and now take it to somebody else that's going to do it for less, that's cool. God bless you. I wish you luck, but I still got to pay the man that did it. So, it goes both ways when you do that. The next thing that pops up, and it was actually a call that I did in here with Patty on her Friday show. One of the technicians called in that frequents the forum. and he talked about the difference in parts. Well, man, he made my point exactly. I never realized how much of a difference there was when aftermarket parts to OEM to Napa and all in between.
Right.
Particularly, we find it in the body shop side because the fitment there becomes like, oh my God, now what do we do? Everything works except for this. Well, unfortunately, everything is hinging on that. It's a big problem. Point being, one of the things that popped up was somebody brought their own parts.
So I came in, I have my own part. I want you to diag my vehicle and put my own parts on there to fix it.
You want the straight answer? This is we're setting feelings aside, right?
Yeah.
Just two guys having a beer talking about what we shouldn't do and why we can and can't do, right?
Right. I got the parts. I got them from another car and I know they'll work.
Yep. So when I go ahead and I do that and your part is incorrect and now your car gets delayed, what happens now?
Now I'm getting frustrated.
But where's that frustration go?
It goes back to the advisor and the technician.
Right, because they're not doing their job, right?
Right.
But you brought the part. Now, time out.
Okay.
Not all parts are the same. Not all parts are ordered correctly. We make our own share of mistakes, and that's all we do. I mean, I've got a parts department that it is their full-time job, not part-time, not hobby that they do once in a while, so they got a little buffer for mistakes. It is their full-time, all day long, every day that they come to work. That is their job, is to order proper parts for vehicles. And guess what? They make mistakes all the time.
So you're telling me, okay, that my radio is not working in my car. I have a radio from a different car, same year, same make, and you're telling me there's a potential it won't work?
Absolutely.
You're telling me that radio is different than the radio in a 3-year newer vehicle, but it looks the same.
Oh my gosh. When you talk about things like that, we've had the same exact year make vehicle on the lot. Because I tried to do it back several months ago. We had a customer who was having an issue with the, they call it the APIM.
Okay.
It basically drives the main computer that you see in your car, your screen, your infotainment system. And so the guy's car was there for like a month. The manufacturer's got my guys, you got our guys jumping through all kinds of crazy hoops. We all know what's going on with it. I know what's going on with them. I get in and out of demos. When my phone does wonky things hook into the car,
right.
I know right then that's the next APIM we're going to need to be replaced. However, Ford Motor Company's huge. They can't just be passing out. I think it was $1,600 for the parts, and I'll come back to that. Hold that number.
All right.
They can't just be passing out $1,600 parts all over the country just because they know, right? Because to them, me knowing is to you like when I say that you know what's wrong with your car, but you brought it to me. You brought it for a reason. You actually didn't know, right?
No, I have no idea.
My point. So same vehicle, same color, same everything, brand new one that a gentleman had that was in service that we know, and I couldn't get the part because as we're going through all these series of tests that Ford have, they want us to keep dragging it out. And I'm like, man, we're like a month with this guy's car. I call Ford. I'm like, listen, if I can't get under warranty, we'll buy the part. That's how much is it? They said $1,600. I'll buy it. Let me just buy it. Let me buy it. I'll eat it and let me bill you the labor or whatever. And let me give this man his truck back already. And they said no. And I was like, why?
Why?
Okay, first of all, the part had a back order issue. They did have it available, but they were controlling it by making sure that all of the different steps were followed to make sure that that's in fact what it needed.
So what you're saying is by following those steps, they're adhering to what Ford is saying and help get that fixed. And so that way, when it is time to say, I need this part, they can then release it to me in order for our technician to fix it.
Yes. And because Ford made us follow that series of steps that we all knew was a complete waste of time because we all knew what was actually wrong with the vehicle, they were actually right. Turns out those engineers are pretty darn sharp.
Sometimes what we see on the surface could go a lot deeper than what it really is.
It was a module that was between the two of those that was not allowing the update to happen. So effectively what happened was one of the over-the-air updates was skipped and it basically couldn't take the new update. So it was making it act all wonky. So we had to take it all the way back to right to the beginning and put all the updates in the proper succession for everything to work properly. But we knew what it was because we knew out of frustration, hey, when you replace this, it fixes it. Actually, what happened is when we had replaced one before and it fixed it, it didn't fix it. It fixed it for us at the time. What we never had the luxury of knowing until after the fact was the customer actually went somewhere else a few months later when the problem came back. So in their eye, it could have just been the dumb dealer that made the mistake. In the reality, we had all the best intentions in the world of trying to limit the amount of frustration they had in doing it.
And the back and forth.
Yeah. It all goes back to diag, right?
Right.
these vehicles sometimes get diagnosed by multiple people. The manufacturer will pay it. They know the technician has to work. And these ones that we see is when it becomes customer pay. And I get it and I feel it. I often talk about some of the tires that I see those people pick up in the back, the used ones.
Right.
I don't know if there's another company. I don't know what goes on. I always ask about that. It seems like it's a whole other business. But, we take tires. People will change their tires on their cars at the, 40% mark, 50% mark, 30% mark. I can remember when a 30% tire was a good tire for me, buddy. I was going to buy it. It's going to ride for a while.
Absolutely. It's got some rubber on here. It's going to last a little bit, and we can move on with our lives, and not have to go and spend a whole bunch of money on some tires.
So, part of my question is some of the things that we do when we do those. Where's the benefit for the next part, the next succession?
It's funny that you're talking about this. I want to come back to it. I have a question, and I want to ask, because we had a scenario not too long ago that I want to get your opinion on.
Be happy to. We're going to take a break, come right back. Thank you for listening. This is Bill McKinney, Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney, and my friend Andrew DeWolf. We'll be talking to you guys in a minute.
We'll be right back, shifting into second gear after this short break from our sponsor, Tallahassee Ford. You're listening to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney. Insight, experience, and straight talk from inside the auto industry.
And we're back. Welcome to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney, here with my friend Andrew DeWolf.
Hey, what's going on, Bill?
Just some car talk, talking about recent things that are going on, trying to address questions that we see pop up from people. Not all of these are questions that are directed at us, per se. It's just stuff that I'll read from time to time, stuff that's on the consumer's mind, trying to keep kind of an ear to the ground, if you will, of what's going on in the marketplace. Talking about having an ear to the ground. First, we're going to thank our sponsor, Tallahassee Ford, Fuel Self-Surfing, because it might be a little bit. Anyway, we have some great events coming up. We're rolling into the end of the month, and at Tallahassee Ford, we try to have a big push. Try to push all month long, but I know that the market is still kind of predisposition to belief to the end of the month is when you throw down and all the big sales happen. So you know what? We're not going to disappoint. I'm going to drop the prices on those vehicles in the middle of the night when the sales managers are sleeping, and you're going to be excited when you see them, and they're going to freak out, but it'll be a good time. So come on down.
If your alerts start going off in the middle of the night because the prices dropped, it was because of you, wasn't it?
I wasn't sleeping. One of the things that I want to talk about there, what do we got going on this weekend? Friday, we actually have a radio remote. We got a live radio out at the dealership. We have food trucks.
Several of them.
Do you know who they are?
Food. A lot of good food trucks. We have Seriously Thai, El Tuani.
Yep.
We have E-Weenies coming out. We also have Snowballs coming out with some snow cones and things. We got a lot of good stuff coming out.
We got some music. Jacob
music.
Ryan, man, this kid is awesome. I apologize. This young man is awesome. If you haven't gone out to see him, come out and see him before it starts costing a lot of money. I like music. I tend to get lucky on our picks. I'm telling you, this young man is on his way. He is absolutely on his way. We've been right so far. Come out and see him. Hang out. It costs nothing. It's free. Look at some cars. If you want to buy a car, that's cool. We still do that too. But we do have some good music. We got some great food to enjoy, and it'll be going on all weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Why? Because it was the end of the month, and now it's the beginning of the month. Start all over, the same kind of intention push.
Have a little party.
That's it. All day long. Customers don't hate being there. The staff don't hate being there.
Get together.
Pizza on Saturday.
Music playing.
No pizza.
Pizza? Yeah, we have pizza.
I love pizza.
We have pizza.
Wife still thinks.
Does your wife know that you eat pizza still?
She thinks I stopped eating it like years ago.
This isn't Bill or Andrew talking about pizza.
No. Somewhere in Mexico.
That's right.
Or we drag race.
But it's going to be a great time.
So we got that. We also have, it is actually a very busy weekend. We have Sunday market. We're going to be there Sunday from 11 to 2. Great spot. You see lots of your neighbors and your friends out there. Good time to come out, have some food, check out with some of the vendors, and just hang out. The weather is wonderful. Probably be one of the best ones of the year with what we got going on right now as we begin to roll into spring. We got this one and one more left in April, and that's it. So come down, hang out with us. We'll be there. We'll have a couple cars. We'll certainly have some folks there that if you have a car and you have some questions, we can help you. We can answer you. There is no there's no charge. We're hanging out, being part of the community, answering questions that you may have. I understand when you buy a car, you got a lot of things going on. Sometimes you just want to get out of there, right? After the fact, you got a ton of questions about how does this work? Do I have it? Do I have to pay for the subscription? Is there a trial subscription? Believe it or not, it doesn't actually even just have to be a Ford. Our folks are pretty well versed, and they can help you out even with the competitive brands out there, we want to see that you get everything out of the vehicle and out of the purchase, even if it wasn't from us. If you want to stop by on a Sunday when you're at the market,
we're just here to help you. We're here to help you.
After that, we are cruising right over to Phipps Farm.
Yep, right down Meridian.
Field Day Music Fest for Judy Fields for pancreatic cancer. Great cause, great bunch of folks. We're going to be out there again with some amazing music. Lots of fun things. We're going to have the cornhole tournament.
We're going to have cornhole out there. We have a lot of things going on out there. We're going to have a couple giveaways that'll be fun to have out there as well.
The band, the Retrograde.
Yep.
And we actually went on stage and presented it to them there with them. What a cool thing. By the way, did you see that they went on a big tour since last year?
I did see that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that we
bands, get lucky. We get lucky.
Been pretty lucky with a lot of stuff.
I'll take a look over town any day. Luck of the Irish.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great time. Some of these bands that we've had out there, and even the bands at the Music Fest. What a great event. What a great time to just share with your friends and neighbors. Lake Tri Brewing
will be there in the beer garden.
Yes.
Is the beer free? I don't remember paying for any.
I think you get a couple coupons.
Yeah?
Or you pay. It's not expensive.
I don't remember paying anything.
I
wonder if I got some extra coupons from somebody. I'm in sales. You know I'll talk you out your coupons.
Do we have?
Anyway, Lake Tri Brewing will be out there with the beer garden. Great music, great cause. You'll see a lot of your local sponsors that are going to be out there in the fabric of the community, just having a chance to get out there and hang out with everyone. Come out, hang out with us, have a good time. We'll go right from Hello Sunday at Bannerman Crossing, right on over to Phipps Farm and keep it going. What time's that? Is it over till
2 to 7? But days are getting a little longer. Next weekend we spring forward because that happens on the 8th.
Do we have to adjust our clocks?
Yeah, we got to spring forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how every year we all ask the same question: are we springing forward or falling back?
What is it? The Arcadian rhythm? I get up with the sun. As in after it.
Yes, you have to. I mean, because I'm like, what?
Just kidding. I got kids. They're always hungry. They're up before the sun. So some cool things coming up. Some great events that we'd love to see you guys down there at. Come hang out with us. Again, you got questions, we'll help you.
And don't forget, Sunday we're going to have a car meet at the dealership as well.
Yep. You run it, you brung it. It doesn't have to be a Ford. Listen, for years it was just a Ford show. It's open. If you're a motorhead, if you're a car guy or car gal, come hang out with us.
We've had Mild to Wild out there. I mean, last month or December, we had a Humvee out there,
yep.
And we had some really good-looking, cool cars. I mean, from BMWs to Fords to Hummers to all kinds of stuff. It was really neat to see everybody in the community come out and say hello.
That's the car culture. We want to be part of it, and also just since we got time to explain it, and I don't know that I ever really did, for me, the difference between a car show and a car meet, for years I was in South Florida, and we worked a lot. We had crazy hours down there. And I always like to take, whether it be an old hot rod that I had or a motorcycle, I like to go to the show or the meet. And what I found out was the show required me to register, yada, yada, yada. I don't have time for that. You want to see me miss an appointment, have me make one. It's almost a lot.
Guaranteed.
Right? But when it was a show, you kind of, it ebbed and flowed. People came and went in different groups. You may get out there and hit a road, go for a road cruise after the fact. Just cruise by, make us part of the day. And we want to keep the doors and the lot open for that. And like I say, run what you brung. You come up there, your car's looking cool. Next thing you know, you meet a new friend and you see a new cool feature or option that they got, and the conversation starts. And that's kind of the world we live in. That's why the car business was easy for me. People are easy to talk to for me, and I love cars from Peterbilt to what is it? Peterbilt, the weed eater, but it don't matter. Everybody just starts with a weed eater motor on a skateboard in a heartbeat. Anyhow, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We want to go over some of the cool events that we have coming up and looking forward to seeing you. I'm Bill McKinney. This is Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney and my friend Andrew. See you in a few.
All gas and no brakes. Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney will be right back after this short break. You're listening to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney, presented by Tallahassee Ford.
And we're back. Welcome to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney and my friend Andrew. We got a couple of things to jump into, and I messed around and asked ChatGPT a question. I said, when consumers are asked, no, that ain't me, that's what it said. I said, what is the number one complaint consumers have when buying a vehicle? Top complaint: hidden fees and deceptive prices, lack of trust in the dealership. Many buyers report that the price they were initially quoted isn't the price that they ended up paying. With the surprise add-on fees, bait and switch pricing, and unclear charges showing up late in the process. This frustration leads to distrust and is often cited as the number one consumer complaint about buying a vehicle. These all go together. Other frequent complaints: pressure to buy add-ons or unnecessary services, extended warranties, accessories without clear value. We'll come back to that one. Hold that one.
Okay.
Because if there's no value, then it's just a bunch of bull, right? Pushy or high-pressure sales tactics, long wait times, and a slow process. Difficulty with price negotiations and poor trade-in offers as related to frustration and the transparency. So many of those are tied together. You had something right there? You had something in mind?
Well, no, I was just looking on our website.
Uh-huh.
Because I know this is a big conversation. And I was just kind of looking at this, and it says, MSRP on our website.
Right.
I just picked a random vehicle, internet price, trade assist, finance assist, rebates, our final price, dealer fee, electronic filing fee. Clearly all right here on our pricing online.
Yep. So, all I know how to do is put them on the website. It can change your level of competitive, right? When you list everything, then sometimes your price may not look as attractive to somebody else's. But for lack of it pisses me off that people fall for that. Everything you're going to pay is right there. And I put it out there, and it's still an ultra competitive price. But man, when somebody goes and they fall for the wonton soup because somebody told them this sounds sweet and like rainbows and sunshine, and next thing you know, they're falling victim to the very thing, the stuff that comes in at the tail of the deal. Every fee we have is listed online. It's listed on the car. Anything that might have been there, we talked about on one of the other shows, like the window tint, it's optional. If you don't want the window tint, it would cost me more money to pick and choose which cars we tinted and have someone come and go and have a less of a consumer experience to do it that way. So the idea is if they don't want them, they just don't get the lifetime warranty. But it's easier to get it done when the vehicle comes in and gets the PDI. That's why it's not on there. Should you not want it? Yes, we'll always dealer trade and get you the car that you absolutely don't want. But point is, very often we have vehicles that are sold with window tint that they don't pay for it because they don't care about the lifetime warranty.
Right, and you're going to go get your windows tinted anyway when you leave here.
That is to the same point about, what did it say, unnecessary services
Ads.
and people being pushy. So if extended warranty has no value, you absolutely shouldn't buy it. But when does it have no value? This is kind of lends to what we do at our dealership and why we don't have a, if you will, a business office where the consumer was out in the open having a conversation with the sales associate, and then all of a sudden they're tucked away in a box at the other end of the building somewhere, and the door closes, and now they're having another conversation that we don't know about. That doesn't happen at our store. And what I've talked about before is we actually had the opposite, where there was so little emphasis put on the warranty. We had people come in that needed the warranty coverage and say, I wasn't offered. Or, come back in the dealership and say, hey, when are they going to ask us about the warranty? Well, Jake from State Farm don't work here. I'm just kidding. We pick on Jake and his khakis, but Jake Lemus does.
We have a Jake.
We do. So we went so far the other direction that we probably left maybe a disservice to the customer. So the value is when you need it. And I talk about that where, you, Andrew, since I've known you, you've had multiple cars.
Yep.
You don't need an extended warranty. You're never going to keep a car past that time.
It doesn't fit me.
No. You trade your car unless it's under factory warranty. So any conversation about an extended warranty is a bad conversation. I would think that if I tried to hit you with a 10-year 100, clearly I'm not looking out for your interest because you just got through showing me the last 5 cars you had never went past the factory warranty.
Right. After 2 years, I'm out.
Correct. So that's when it's a disservice. When you have somebody that just digs in no matter what and tries to just stuff people, that's when it's a disservice. Now, if you're somebody that keeps your car 5-6 years, 60, 70, 80, 90, yeah, you better get yourself an extended warranty. I see these bills that the manufacturer pays. I see these bills that the extended warranty companies pay. I see these bills that the consumer pays. Rarely do I have a complaint when it's something that's covered by warranty. But, buddy, when they start passing out these $6,000 service repair bills like Pez Candies, all of a sudden I'm getting very acquainted with lots of people. So there's no service when it's offered under the wrong circumstances. But that's more than just that. As a consumer, you got to decide, is that the dealer? Is that the person? Was it this way always? Every time I come here, are they just trying to hustle me on something? So somebody like me, don't offer me a big, long warranty. Offer me something I'm going to use, the what do you call it, the road hazard for the tire, because I go through them.
So, I mean, when we're sitting down and we're negotiating a deal, we're going to know how many miles I drive a year. We're going to know how often I'm driving in and out of town. And if that makes sense, we're going to know how to tailor fit something to fit your need, whether you're a quick trader or whether you're going to keep it for the wheels fall off, right? Because everybody says, I'm going to keep this vehicle till the wheels fall off.
I do it all the time. You see me out there changing tags before I get over 1,000 miles.
Right.
The value depends on if it's for you or if it's not for you. And that leads to something else I was going to talk about all the way back to the diag. Consumer attitude drives a lot. If you come in and you got a chip on your shoulder and you're been out of shape about something that happened elsewhere, or even something that happened at my store a time ago, you may not get the best of the person you're dealing with. I mean, I don't know how. I'm not going to lie, bro. That's just the way it is. It's just life. You piss off the waiter, they already knew you're not giving them a tip. Why did all of a sudden you got mad because you don't have no ice in your drink? You asked for extra ice and you got a piece of an ice cube floating.
Well, I came in here mad, so I'm gonna vent a little bit and let my feelings be shown.
Somewhere, and I say again, I'm going to keep blaming it on the last handful of years because I think it accelerated so much of it, is we all got used to communicating through our phone more so by text and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And one, it's hard to pick that up, right? Particularly when that text is moving from one generation to the next. I catch myself with a long text. I'm like, man, nobody wants to hear all that. But I don't.
And it can come across the wrong way too.
I'm still trying to understand what's the right etiquette, and I'll struggle with it, right? So when we have all these various different people communicating different ways, unfortunately, one of the ones that has the biggest impact is the one that has been left by the wayside for too long, and that's the face-to-face. Do we need to be face-to-face today? Not to get it done, no. But I think as people we do to a certain extent. I think that all of us, we got a couple. I got a couple cousins that are super loners, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I think that we all get something from the interaction. So the way you come in as a consumer and you approach it, it matters. Just because you're nice doesn't mean somebody's going to take advantage of you. I mean, you see me be nice and tell somebody, listen, don't mistake conversation for friendship and don't mistake kindness for weakness. I got things to get done and I chose you to do it with. Now, if you're going to act like a knucklehead, let's check out and let me get my business done with somebody else. Don't take it personal. You know what I mean? Get you a Coke and a smile, but I got things to get done today, bub. Somewhere we forgot to be able to say that, and that doesn't come through a text. Through a text, that stings much more than face-to-face, right? Because if I say it face-to-face, we just got a real good understanding of what I'm expecting to get done, and you just got a real clear understanding of what you need to get done, right?
Absolutely.
But when it comes out over a text, hell, it could be there where I'm busy and I read half of it, and I'm sitting here hot now because I want to respond to it.
Red hot.
Now I'm losing focus on the conversation I'm having. I'm in my own head about something that I didn't need to be. So my point is the communication. If we really want car buying to really be a good experience, and you really want to change what does and doesn't happen at the dealership or at home for consumers, at some point I got to ask consumers, take a check up from the neck up the same way we do. And that way, when you approach the deal that way, you're fully within your rights to tell somebody else to go do the same. But when you come off all sideways and been out of shape, and it can happen.
It's funny that you say that because we all have times in our lives where we're happy, we're sad.
We all have things going on in our lives that we don't know.
Right. And so, walking through a dealership and saying hello and whatever the case is, you never know what someone's going through that day, whether it's an employee, whether it's a customer, whatever it is. And, sometimes it's just hey, how you doing? Just checking in. I hope you have a great day. And that could change someone's spirit just like that and make their day great because they had a bad morning because they got late for something. We talk about it in sales about looking retail ready and being approachable. Do you look like somebody that somebody would want to talk to, or do you have that look like you're annoyed and you would be bothered if someone approached you, right? Just being retail ready. When you're retail ready and you're approachable, other things open up. God will put the right people in your path, and He will show you your purpose. That happened at the dealership the other day, and I'm not going to go into it, but He knew I was supposed to park over there, and I was supposed to run across that guy's path. And you know what? He needed that, but so did I. And when you change the way you approach things, you could. I've talked about it before. There's always time to get pissed. There's always time to throw your sucker in the dirt. There's always time to take your ball and go home. But if we tried it a little bit nicer up front, all these other things would begin to fall in line, like not meeting a new person every time you come in because now you got some history with somebody and you treat them like a friend rather than an adversary that you kind of kick in the dog, if you will. And that's what happens in the dealership world. They've been a stomping ground both in sales and service for the consumer side for so long that it's become normal. And as much as I want to clean up and change how we are in the business, I also have to ask the same of our guests, because as much as I got to give them a great place to be, I first have to have it a great place for the folks to work there so they'll keep coming back.
because as we've all learned, again, in the last handful of years, jobs are absolutely replaceable, and you don't know what's going on in that person's mind or in their life when you decide to come in there and cut loose and show your ass with them on your shoulders. And now look what happened. They might have actually just needed you to smile and say, hey, man, can I get you a cup of coffee? They always say no, but it changes the world of how they feel about where they are and who you are. On the consumer side, you can have that. You don't have to be bent out of shape. You can say no. We will respect it. We will ask. You can still say no. It's okay.
And we want to give you the answers and give you all the correct answers and give you the ammunition for you to make the best educated guess, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's putting air in your tire or buying a car.
I got a funny story. We're going to take a break and come right back, and I'm going to tell you a funny story of things that happen, and what can happen when you don't have good conversations. So
this should be a good one. I can't wait to hear this.
Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney and my friend Andrew. We'll see y'all in just a minute.
You're listening to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney. Insight, experience, and straight talk from inside the auto industry. You're listening to Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney, presented by Tallahassee Ford.
So a very long time ago, I'm sitting across from the guy that has excellent credit. He's in the 800s. Paid everything like it should be. No late marks. No even grace periods. You know what I mean? Everything on that bureau stands for something. Those
so he's a solid
stuff,
citizen.
For all intents and purposes, from a credit portfolio, the guy's good. Here's the problem. He's there to buy a car for his wife to get her a new car. She's trading in her car. He's not trading in his car. That's two. There was a third car.
So you know about that, right, Bill?
Yes. So the problem was he had his truck payment. It made sense. That's his truck. He had his wife's car payment. It made sense. And out of the blue, you got this $1,200 lease payment to Mercedes, man, financial. You got a kid in college, like on a baseball scholarship or something? No? You got anything else you want to talk about?
You no?
I didn't know.
No, I don't know.
I knew you had a third car loan, and I knew it looked like you had a girlfriend. That's what I know. But you're sitting here with your wife, and I don't know. How are we going to talk about this? So then we get a bad review because the rate was too high.
So I went on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Lit you up.
Yeah. I didn't go on Google and light him up about it being his girlfriend that his wife didn't know, and her car payment was what both of theirs was together. Now, do you know why the bank wanted to know the POI and wanted to know about the car? Because your bureau has history. So when things change abruptly, it signals something going on different in your life, right?
Right.
But my point is there are so many things that are in there. Now, if you had 3 car loans and all 3 of them had 2 or 3 years worth of payment history on it, there you go.
It's a different story.
It's not a big deal. It fits. But when you got $600 a month for dad, $600 a month for mom, and all of a sudden $1,200 bowling ball starts rolling around, we call that a BFP.
But at the end of the day, you're not selling me the deal because you got to sell this to the bank.
Correct. I just need to know what's going on.
Right? So
he was not in a position to tell me what's going on because mama was sitting there. She didn't know what was going on.
I just want to be clear, though.
Yeah.
You're the dealership. You're not buying my car loan. You're selling this to a bank, and you're having to explain all of this now.
Why does it make
to
sense?
Another person.
Yes. No, he doesn't race cars. It's not a race car.
He's not in a band?
Nope.
It's not for Jimmy, our son.
Doesn't have a side business that has a moving truck. I was waiting to get some of that info out there, but I couldn't get the info because I couldn't talk about it. And I didn't know that I was supposed to know because it was before the whole,
You know.
So these are the things that go into it that you don't see on the other side. And there is a blue million more. But those are the things that happen and all in between. So my point is when we talk about rate, and that's like a lot of people have a question about rate, and rightly so, when there is not an understanding of why did the great credit score not get the best rate, or why did the great credit score consumer all of a sudden have to prove or verify something out of the norm probably didn't fit the norm. So the lender that wants to protect their collateral wants to understand that this new norm is actually going to be able to be afforded, if you will. I'm trying to just breaking that down to my general layman's terms, but that's one of the things that goes into it. Another one. So you see a deal advertised at 0% interest, and all of a sudden you got a 3.9% interest rate. Bad dealer. Because it's usually one or the other. You pick the $5,000 rebate or the 0%, and usually when you take the rebate...
But can't I get both, Bill?
No. I'd love for you to. If the
No.
manufacturer,
I
dude,
want 5,000
let me tell you
off
something.
and 0%.
Nobody will fight the manufacturer harder for you than us, if that could be possible. But we've tried it. What we call that is an incentive chargeback, and that's when I get hit with the $5,000. It stinks.
You don't want to pay it for me?
No.
No.
I like you, but I mean, you don't pay your own bills, right?
Interesting.
I'll buy you a beer, but a car payment's a lot, dude. $5,000 is even. I was going to say a lot.
It says like 3 months of car payments. A lot.
A lot of car payments.
Yeah.
So that's deal structure. That's one of the things that kind of mitigates the rate up and down. What are you doing to the deal? You're bringing in a car that's got a bunch of negative equity and taking no down payment, so no responsibility in that.
And so imagine doing that in our store, your store that we have here, right? We don't have a finance office.
Correct.
And trying to have that conversation, you're trying to get me the very best deal. I got to be upfront and honest with you too.
When you come in and you have that kind of conversation up front and you can talk about these things that matters. Now, that might have been a little bit different. I don't know how that dude was going to have that conversation with his wife there, but weird stuff that happens in the dealer that all of a sudden you see reviews and you're wondering, how the hell did it get to that point? Very often it was the things that didn't happen that could have avoided it, right? That was extreme. I don't know where that fella could have gone with that one. Another one is this. This is not a trick, but we're about to do a car deal. You ready?
Yep.
You have a trade-in. How much do you owe on your trade? You can make a number up.
$2,300. No, actually, on the Camry, I owe $12,500.
You still have a Camry?
Yes.
A Toyota Camry?
Toyota Camry.
Do they still make those?
Yes. Toyota Camry. $12,500
All right.
is about what I think.
So
it is.
you have a car. Let's do a hypothetical. You got a
Okay.
Camry. You want to trade it in. What would you come by if you were going to?
I'm looking at a Bronco, like a Badlands.
Perfect.
Is what I'm looking for.
So here's the beginnings of a deal. You got a vehicle that you're somewhat interested in, and you got a vehicle that you would very likely trade to replace it, right?
Yes.
And you owe $12,500 hypothetically on this vehicle.
Correct.
All right. I just had your vehicle appraised. Your vehicle's worth $8,000. What does that mean? $8,000 is an ACV, actual cash value. If I was going to turn this car into cash today, at any given auction or meeting, that we may use, I should expect to get about $8,000. That's what this car is worth. It may bring me a little more. It may bring me a little less, but that's pretty damn tight for the number. You owe $12,500. We send the numbers out there, and you take your $10,000 discount off your new Bronco, and you get your $8,000 for your trade, and you say,
You're not giving me enough for my trade.
and you want,
I want at least payoff.
take the you and me out. Does the payoff have anything to do with the value of your car? Does your payoff know the value of your car? Does the value of your car know your payoff? None.
No, it doesn't.
So stop. If your first answer for your payoff, $2,300, was correct, could I get away with just giving you payoff then?
No.
So in fact, your payoff literally has nothing at all to do with the deal other than your emotional attachment. That's fact. That's as factual as emotional attachment can be. Because you wouldn't give it to me for $2,300 if that was a payoff. We just agreed on that. And
I told you it was $12,500, and you're telling me you're going to give me $8,000.
right. Because $8's the value. $12,500 is your want.
Now, this was a good car.
But my point is the payoff of your car and the value of your car have nothing to do with one another, but it's something that people will come in with the negotiation of, I don't want negative equity. Look, you have negative equity. If that's what that is, if you owe $12,500 and it's worth $8,000, you have negative equity. You know what makes negative equity go away?
Rebates.
No, that's
No.
future negative equity. That's
Okay.
just a depreciation taken up front on the vehicle.
Cash down?
To feel good. Cash. Do you want to put the cash down?
I don't, but I also don't want to finance my taxes and my tag and fees into this. I really don't.
When you have a good conversation and you feel comfortable as a consumer to put it on the table because you're at a place that won't take advantage of it, we can have a better conversation. If you have an interest rate that's 2 or 3%, don't put any money down if you don't have to. If you get a subvented rate from the factory at 0%, a 1.9, a 2.9, 3.9, keep your money, keep your cash for a rainy day. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not Clark Howard. I'm sure he's smarter than I am when it comes to it. But I can tell you one damn thing. When we went into the financial crisis, I did everything out of my pocket cash. You know what I wish I had had when the market started melting down in front of my eyes before I was able to open the dealership that we had so happily went head first into putting everything we had into? I wish I had my cash. Because when the shit hits the fan, the banks turn off the juice, buddy. You start swiping the cards and you find out your ability to borrow goes down, and I just burn all my cash. Long way of saying hold on to your cash if it's a cheap rate. But that's why every deal is different. If you have negative equity, let's say, and realistic in today's market, dude, you can have 10 grand negative equity like that. We've seen 30, 40 all over the place, but 10 grand can nearly be standard operating procedure. If you have 0% interest rate from a factory, what better way other than absolutely writing a check to take care of it? What is a better way of taking the negative equity? At least borrowing it on 0% interest where you're not compounding it and you can have a plan. Plans come when you have conversation.
But let's keep this real.
Sure.
I bought a Ford Lightning. I love my Ford Lightning. I had a Ford Lightning in my vision.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Mach-E, but I also had a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I personally was going to lose money on a Tesla. And it was a real conversation that we had. And I remember going through the whole thing, and I said, you know what? It is what it is. And I feel good about getting rid of the Tesla to getting into a truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking a lot of negative equity. But it worked out in my benefit in the end. I still had the same payment I was paying on the Tesla. I got a truck that I wanted. And I got the deal that felt comfortable for me. And I will drive this truck until I got to put new AA's in it.
You're making my point exactly. You have the luxury of having a conversation because you work there for us.
Right.
But the reality is everybody that walks through the door, they have the same luxury if they allow it to happen, because I want you to be in a tradable position for the future because I want to do business with you. I don't want to be the one to bear bad news and make you feel crappy about the deal that happened 2 or 3 years ago, because that's what happens. And that's the emotional part where people get upset is the did I get got, right? Folks, lots of ways to look at the deal, lots of different things that happen, and that's why every deal is different. I can't stress to you enough, going in with a good attitude and having a relationship and an engaging conversation, what does that really do for you on today's deal, but for the future as well? I'm Bill McKinney at Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney. My friend Andrew, we're getting ready to check out, head back to the dealership.
This was a great talk. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the insight and the information because, even though we work in the business, we still learn something new every day.
Every single day. We'll see you guys next week. We'll talk it up a little bit, throw us some questions. You are what drives the show. Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney. We'll see you next week.
See you.
That's today's edition of Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney. Thanks for listening. And remember, when it comes to cars, information matters just as much as the vehicle itself. Rev'd Up with Bill McKinney is presented by Tallahassee Ford. Join us next week for another smarter conversation about the road ahead.